Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing The Mandalorian Season 3, Chapter 20, The Foundling, which was written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and was directed by Carl Weathers, and was released on March 22nd, 2023, which I thought was an alright episode. I am surprised Weathers was the one to direct this one, because he doesn't even appear in the episode as Greef Karga. I was fully expecting this episode to be the one where we see the Mandalorians help out on Navarro, which you saw a bunch in the trailers and whatnot, but that wasn't the case with this one. But like I said, I did think the episode was just alright. It had one really awesome moment, which finally gives some answers for Grogu, which I really loved all that. I thought there were some solid Bo-Katan moments and armor moments with Bo-Katan and Grogu, but everything else I just wasn't into that much. I don't want to call it boring, but I was kind of bored while watching the rest of the other stuff going on. So, I just kind of wish the episode was just about the stuff we see with Grogu, because it was great, and I wish it was longer than this. It's mainly a flashback where we, finally learn what happened to Grogu during Order 66. It's like a 6-minute scene, give or take. I would have liked that to be the entire episode instead, because everything else I just wasn't that into. Like I said, there was some solid Bo-Katan moments during all that stuff, what I enjoyed, but outside that, just, I just didn't care for it that much. So, but the episode starts with Din getting Grogu to kind of join the other Foundlings in a sparring match, which we see Grogu go up against Ragnar, the kid from we saw at the start of Chapter 17, which Grogu is kind of a little scared at first, but Din tells him to just do his thing. And so then Grogu is like, okay, and then does his thing, which is use the Force, and he wins easily, which I thought was a cute moment. Which, so far this season I've liked the moments where we see Din becoming more and more fatherly to Grogu, more and more like teaching him stuff, which I enjoyed. I wish we've gotten more of that through these 4 episodes. It's been present, just wish it was a little more present, but because Ragnar was, defeated by Grogu, he's upset and goes, so kind of storms off, and then this big bird creature comes down and takes him. So Din, Paz, and some others go after him, but chasing in the jetpack, or I guess going after the bird creature. But they lose fuel, so the jetpacks, no work no more. But we see that Bo has jumped into her ship, and she follows the bird creature back to its lair, which the lair is like on top of this big like pillar thingy way up in the sky. But now knowing the location of the bird's lair, she heads back to the covert, where they all make a plan to go, for the lair, but they can't fly up, to on top of the huge pillar, because they're scared that the bird will hear and then kill Ragnar. So they need to quietly climb up that pillar to not alert the bird. So Bo, Din, Paz, and some others head out, while Grogu stays behind. And here the armorer makes him a new piece of armor, which during it we get some Order 66 flashbacks for Grogu. At the start we see several Jedi escorting him through the temple, which we hear them saying to get the youngling to Kelleran, which, they get Grogu to an elevator, send him down, but they all die. And, once the elevator reaches where it's going, the door opens and reveals the Jedi Kelleran Beck, who is played by Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks in the prequel trilogy, which Best has played the character Kelleran Beck before, and because the character was originally created for this game show released a few years ago titled Jedi Temple Challenge, where Best played the character, and he was the host of the game show. So, it's a really deep cut of a character. It is a more recent character, but still a pretty deep cut, so I was really surprised to see that. But it was also great seeing Ahmed Best back in a live action Star Wars story. I really love that. Definitely, after Best played Jar Jar, and the fan outrage because of that, and kind of what he went through and whatnot, to see him overcome all that and to get to return to a Star Wars story in this way was great. So I really, really love that. But some clones come after him, and so he gets to kick some ass and take out all of them, and jumps on a speeder, which has a little side compartment for Grogu, which we then see him speeding through Coruscant, trying to outrun some Republic gunships. There's a moment where they're going through a tunnel, and the gunships follow in, and they crash into each other. But they eventually get to a landing pad where a ship, and it looks all like one of Padme's ship. I'm not sure if it's one of her ships, but it is definitely a Naboo ship because there's a bunch of Naboo guards at the landing pad. But they land and ask Kelleran where the others are, referring to other Jedis, which Kelleran says he's the only one left. But then some clones come down, and so the guards tell Kelleran to take the ship and Grogu and leave Coruscant. So they jump in and take the ship, and then, they're getting chased by some, I'm forgetting what ships they were, I didn't write it down, but Kelleran outmaneuvers them and gets to space and jumps to hyperspace. And that's where the flashback ends, which, I really, really love this flashback. One, just to learn more, or get answers to Grogu's past. Also, I love seeing Abba Best return, and to play a character he played in a game show, which is interesting. I just wish this was the full episode. It was pretty fast-paced, like 6-minute scene, like I said, give or take. I didn't time it exactly. It might be less, it might be way more. It felt like it's 6 minutes. So, I just wish that was at least a good chunk of the episode, because I would have loved seeing Abba Best play Kelleran Beck in a bigger role than just a quick little scene. Obviously, there might be more Grogu flashbacks to this later in the season or later seasons. I don't know, but I kind of just wish they did a full episode, kind of just diving much deeper into it. Mainly just because, like I said, I just wasn't as into the rest of the episode, because the armor finishes Grogu's new piece, places it on his chest, which I like that. But we go back to the others who've now gone to that pillar, and so they camp out below it for the night. There's a moment where they start eating food, which they all have to go elsewhere to eat, which I find funny. But we see a quick moment with Bo taking her helmet off for the first time to eat. But the next day they start their climb, up the pillar. But once they get to the top, the bird creature isn't there, so Din turns on his heat signal thingy and notices some heat signatures. So Paz rushes over quickly to it, which Bo tries to stop him, but Paz reveals that Ragnar is his son. So he gets over there and only finds babies of that bird creature. But the bird creature then appears, and I guess it had already eaten Ragnar, and it spits Ragnar out. But Ragnar is still alive. So Paz goes after the bird, kind of jetpacking into its mouth. And so now Paz is in its mouth, and the bird then scoops up Ragnar with its foot claw thingy. So we see Bo, Din, and the others go after it, saving both Ragnar and Paz, and also taking that bird out. But during this, we see Bo lose one of her shoulder pieces. But they then head back to the covert, where they all celebrate the return of Ragnar. But we then see the armor talk to Bo, telling her that she has honored her family name and received the highest honor of the creed by saving a foundling, which Bo responds with, "This is the way." But then reveals they brought home 3 new foundlings, revealing those baby birds. But the armor then notices that Bo's shoulder piece is missing and offers to make a new one. So they head in, and the armor starts to make it, which she asks what insignia Bo would like, which Bo asks for the mythosaur. So the armor crafts it, and during this, Bo tells her about how she saw a mythosaur, which the armor thinks Bo is just referring to a vision, but Bo says she saw a real one in the mines of Mandalore, which the armor is like, when you walked away, you'll see things. Once again, this thing was more a vision, which Bo is like, it was real, I swear, which the armor just says, "This is the way." But the episode ends with Bo looking at the mythosaur symbol on the wall again, just like last episode ended. Which I did like that scene a good bit. But other than that, in the flashback scene with Grogu, and obviously Ahmed Best returning, all that I really loved. But everything else I just was saving Ragnar. I just, like I said, I found it kind of boring. I just didn't really care for it. Most of the time with The Mandalorian, it's very adventure of the week, a lot like this episode is. But most of the time I still find it fun, and I'm enjoying it. I just didn't with this one. At least this one had some extra scenes added in, like the Grogu flashback and some more stuff of Bo, to at least make it, save it and save the episode from being one of my least favorites. Because, the Grogu flashback and whatnot is probably one of my favorite moments of the series so far. I really loved it. But I just wish the rest of the episode was like that. So yeah, but I am interested to see where everything goes with the Mandalorian covert. I am interested to see how much longer Bo kind of sticks with them. If, even if maybe she just actually like adopts their way, which I will be honest, I would not like that. And it's because, Bo obviously thinks of him as a cult, or at least did. So, I don't know. I wouldn't really like her becoming a full-on cult member, because I already really didn't want Din to rejoin them. Obviously, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes later this season. But right now, like I said, I do like Bo joining it. I find that interesting. But if it turns out that she's just actually joining them, I really wouldn't like that. I do like it. Joining them just kind of, one up Din, I guess, to lead Mandalore, because obviously Bo can't get the Darksaber right now. But now she knows about the mythosaur, so, I have no clue where the season's going, which sometimes can be a good thing, sometimes can be a bad thing, but, because I am just kind of worried that they'll just be sticking with the cult, because, like, they are a cult. Like, I really don't view the armor or anything like that, like, really as good people, because, like, you're legitimately forcing people to wear helmets for the rest of their lives, and no one's allowed to see them. That's not a good thing. Obviously, once again, I'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, that's enough of rambling on about that. Like I said, the episode had some really strong moments, but the rest of it just kind of was So yeah, but my grade, I'm gonna give it a B. So yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. Next week you'll check out my review for chapter 21. I am going to make a video about Kelleran Beck probably later this week. You can check that out when that comes out. But in the meantime, check out my reviews on the other episodes of season 3 and everything else to do. But I've been Stars, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be